Thank you very much. I want first to say that I'm really honored to be here. It is an important topic. It is a topic that is international, definitely keeps us in Israel busy thinking about solutions, thinking about what we are doing to be better when it comes to clean tech in general, and in particular I will talk about two specific issues. One is renewable alternative energy, and the second is water waste treatment, solid waste treatment, and things like that. But first, Minister Dulic, I want to thank you for your presentation. I think that what you said was very interesting, and it is clear that Serbia is doing a lot to change its readiness in the application of modern necessary technologies to find solutions to the problems that it inherited. And the minister visited Israel, I think it was about 18 months ago, during which he had an opportunity to firsthand see what we are doing in the field of clean tech, recycling, wastewater treatment, and so on. I want to start with the issue of energy. Let me say that in 1973, the world had a wake-up call. Many of you are too young to remember, but in 1973 there was an oil crisis, which was a result of a political boycott, dramatic increase in price, shortage. I remember those days when all around the world individuals were told that they are not allowed to drive cars on specific days of the week, and many other measures. It was clear then that the world has to find a solution to alternative energy and not to be dependent on oil so much. But then the crisis passed, and of course there were many attempts to develop alternative technological solutions, but they seemed to be a little bit too expensive. Oil was once again affordable, and I think we missed an opportunity. 2 years ago, we had a second wake-up call. You remember those days already, when the price of oil went up from more or less $35 a barrel to about $150 a barrel in a short period of time. Just think of how big a jump it is. It is true that then the crisis came, and the price now goes down, plays around $70 a barrel for some time. It is still double the price that it was three years ago, but it is only half the price of 2 years ago. And everybody talks about the reason for the last global economic crisis as the subprime crisis in the banking and loan business. But I want to tell you that, in my view, at least, had that not been the reason, the cost of oil would have been the reason for a global crisis, because the cost of energy would have gone so far high. And it was a crisis of price, which was not a result of boycott, but was a result of increased demand and shortage of supply. So we have no, and the third wake-up call is actually now. The last month, we are watching on television day after day this ecological disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, because the need for oil exists, and so the companies are going deeper and deeper in the sea. The thirst for oil is immense, and the result, sooner or later, it will happen. So it happened this month, but it could have happened 6 months ago or 6 months from now. You have a tremendous disaster, the end of which we do not see yet. And I want to say something, I will emphasize it later once again, that normally what we see now in this hazard is not something that is brought into the economic calculation when we talk about the cost of energy alternatives. So we have no choice but to realize that oil is going to finish sooner or later. I remember I looked at a study a few years ago which predicted that more or less the known global reserves of oil will be sufficient until 2030. Now they talk about 2050 because new findings, but then you have to recalculate because in the first calculations the huge consumption of the East, of China, India, was predicted at much lower and the speed of growth much less than what we are actually witnessing. So oil is going to finish. Cheap oil is a matter of the past. That's it. No more cheap oil. So we are dependent still on expensive oil, politically and geopolitically creating dependence relationships between providers and suppliers and users. And of course, the ecological results are clear. And I want to say one thing. A country that will be ready with alternative energy solutions other than what we are seeing today, which is, of course, renewables and other clean energy solutions, will be more advanced, will be more independent politically, and it will be, of course, much cleaner.